So you,
Yeah.
just I guess several months ago now, you joined the company, and coming from the automotive division in Korea, um, you know, what what were you expecting when you arrived here at Bombardier Aerospace? What brought you to well, sort of back to Canada, but into the aerospace industry?
Well, one of the reasons, a couple reasons, but the main reason was I had started to read about the CSeries, and coming out of Korea, I launched 8 products in 8 months, vehicles, and came to realization that around the world, globally, every week, every day, there's a product that's launched. You can put your fingerprint on it, but the competition is fierce. A lot of competitors, a lot of new products. However, in aerospace, a new plane is, every 15, 20, 25 years. And I decided perhaps it would be my time to put my fingerprint on an aerospace aircraft product. And the opportunity didn't arise, and I accepted to come to work for Bombardier. The second reason is being raised in Montreal. I knew Bombardier. I had left Montreal 12 years ago with a one-way ticket at the time, no way of coming back. And so as I lived outside Canada for 12 years, I said, this is a great opportunity. Everything seems to line up. I can go back home. And actually, I have 31 years of knowledge in product launches and managing a company outside of North America in the automotive industry. Actually living in Asia, which is an emerging market, which is an important market for Bombardier. I figured that there'd be a good combination between Bombardier and what I could bring to the company for future growth and launch a new product.
So, is there anything about the CSeries or Bombardier Aerospace that you've already put your stamp on or your thumbprint on, as you were saying?
I can tell you that. Let me start quickly. I don't like charts. I don't like PowerPoints. I detest bureaucracy. So
You're in the wrong industry.
So we made certain changes, which is great. I like to be very visible. I like to communicate so that everyone in commercial aircraft knows what I do every couple of weeks, for example, what I'm working on. So I hold myself accountable and accountable to the people as well. So that's very visible in commercial aircraft. And also, as you will be visiting this afternoon, for example, as an example, in Mirabel, the simulated work environment, which is, I've put them up in the automotive industry myself. Actually, I've trained in working simulated work environment. I think is a great asset for Bombardier to keep exploring that perhaps our competition does not do. So that is very important. And working systems in parallel. And then really challenging the status quo. I think coming from the outside industry, I've had suppliers tell me in aerospace, well, we've always done this like this, well, we're going to change. Okay, I think the automotive industry went through its changes in terms of increased competition, better, restructuring, taking out complacency, and the consumer, the passenger, has actually had better products with better technology, better cost, and I think it's just a repeat in aerospace.
Well, the idea of going from sequential to parallel, I would like you to be more specific about what that means as it applies to the CSeries program.
Sure.
And also, I guess if it seems like sometimes that parallel concept has been approached, and I think this was brought up in the Q&A as well. But it hasn't worked so successfully in the aerospace program because of the vast complexity of the supply chain. That one, mistake here or change here becomes this ripple thing that, and if things are done in parallel, it becomes very complicated to manage. How do you approach that with this parallel development effort?
Great question. Working systems in parallel, beginning with validation of our manufacturing process. We don't wait till all the parts arrive in Mirabel. We actually have built a wooden plane. We have a CSeries built out of wood by the operators that will be assembling in final line real parts. So we've simulated the weight, the design, and it's a real plane. That's one. So we don't wait till the parts arrive and then we train our people. So the learning curve, okay, has been diminished. The snags, may it be from health and safety, from components not fitting, from the right tools that need to be used, because we have actually installed production tools in Mirabel. You know, we have robots that will be doing the riveting, and we could put it, you know, we could actually put a wooden part to see if it fits or doesn't fit. So we're doing a lot of pull aheads of all these processes in manufacturing. Suppliers, over 200 suppliers have actually validated their parts at their own location, doing testing. So the old days of saying, well, I'm going to send you the part, you test it, and then we find out when we put together, well, surprise, it's, it's not me, it's the other supplier. We're trying to change that as well. As we're doing that, the CESTA is very important and unique to Bombardier, because we are actually, I'll give a very simple example, and Rob, correct me, wiring, length of wiring. How do you hang the wire? How do you clip wiring harnesses? Usually, you find out all these issues when you're putting the first plane that will be flying. You find out that you got some issues in length, and you have to make a change. Change adds cost, timing, and that's how you delay things. And CESTA, you can lay it out, and you can actually say it's according to specifications. Is there a change? There's no change. It's validated. All right, we don't make any more changes. The hydraulics in CESTA, we don't have to fly the plane. The pilot sits in the similar cockpit and actually actuates the hydraulic systems. So we've commissioned 4, correct?
4 done.
4 done. Okay, and 4 remaining. In the past, it was sequential. Now you're doing everything in parallel. So manufacturing has not stopped. Suppliers have not stopped. I mean, you've heard all the engine testing that Pratt & Whitney's been doing. They're now waiting to put it in a real plane. They got a plane. They got the engine, 1,400 hours. And then they got their own testing that's been broken up. And now they're getting to the critical testing by the end of the year to certify the engine. And typically an engine, is one of the obstacles in a new plane. And here we're talking Pratt & Whitney saying, no, by the end of the year I will deliver my engine certified. Okay? We're doing the same thing with, validation of our cabin ventilation system up to a certain amount of degrees, minus, plus. We can do that now in Mirabel. And it's all done in one location. So you get the suppliers together, you get the manufacturing, okay? I mean, Rob's team, everybody's on site. Plus, the great thing is the CESTA, if you want to make a change, you can validate the change there. And for future, you don't have to say, I'm going to make a change and I need to put this on a real flight test vehicle, a plane. We can actually validate it, commission it. So that's the great things of working in parallel. The other thing I mentioned today in the process is rigor and discipline. We don't accept status quo. Statements as we always did, we've done this in the past, that's how we always done it. Because we've launched a plane 20 years ago, or a competitor launched a plane 20 years ago, the suppliers remember how they launched 20 years ago. Well, Bombardier is different. Bombardier is changing the way we're building, designing the airplane, the aircraft. And I think it's major.
Well, and then also looking beyond CSeries now, in terms of your product development strategy, especially on the commercial side. The business, the roadmap is pretty clear. Obviously, the focus on the commercial side is CSeries at the moment. When you look beyond CSeries, what do you think are Bombardier's biggest needs?
Well, one, our biggest needs is to get our sales workforce to be global. Okay, and we have an excellent current product portfolio. The Q400, the CRJs, CSeries 100 and 300. So with these 4 products, just these 4 products in commercial aircraft, there's still a lot of momentum. Big sales opportunity. As we're transforming our sales, workforce from being more North American or Canadian centric to global. We just opened up an office in Singapore. We opened up an office in Shanghai, Sydney, Dubai, Munich, and we have still more to do. Okay, so that in itself will give us some momentum in selling our current products. We just completed the Q400 tour, world tour. We never did demonstrate the capacity, the capability of this product. The fuel efficiency, quietness, takeoff, landing, and it's been amazing the reaction we've been getting from customers around the globe. Okay, CRJs, we're exploring possibilities in the Americas, more specifically in North America with the restructuring going on. You know, we ended up selling CRJs now in China. China Express actually got to understand and value this proposition that we brought to the market. So we're actually expanding now outside of North America, the Q400 CRJs, and there's great potential.
When you see Embraer looking at re-winging and re-engineing their aircraft that compete with your CRJ 700s and 900s, and ATR is looking at a new 90-seater to replace the 72 that competes with your Q400, you know, at what point does Bombardier have to respond to that as a competitive threat to still a big core of your business?
Well, what we do is we survey out our customers. Okay, what are the customer needs? Okay, what does a customer really require to conduct their business model? And right now, you know, we see that the Q400 meets. Actually, you'll have a chance of flying. In a lot of instances, actually, just beats the expectations our customers have, exceeds the expectations in fuel burn and quietness. And this is a turboprop, that can compete with some of our competition, without naming them, and taking away, like we did with your lot. We actually took out our competitor by putting a Q400, which really impressed that part of the world, which never considered our product. So, great products. We just got to go out and sell them. Same thing with CRJ. We came up with customer needs, CRJ 1000. And, that's one of the products that we have out in the market, that we have to continue, developing these emerging and developing markets to present them a solution with the regional jets.